Welcome back to the vidIQ channel review live stream. We do this every week. We come online and we look at your channels. Well, we try to look at as many channels as we can. You submit your channels, we try and look at them. The important thing is that everybody here knows by now, whether you're new or not, you're going to know. Take notes, because we're going to look at so many different types of channels who are doing so many different types of things, and you are bound to learn something, even if it's not your channel on the screen. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. And don't forget to join us tomorrow as well, because we are going to be doing video reviews. Very similar live stream, except we look at the actual video content and give you tips on production. And I believe we have a special guest joining us tomorrow, so don't miss that. Today's co-host, though, is Jeff. How's it going?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Feeling a little stuffed up today. Got allergies going on around here, but I'm ready, man. I'm ready to check out some channels.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're here. I've had to make some adjustments to my volume since we last spoke, and now you're seeming quiet again, but I think it's because I turned my volume up to hear you, and then when the intro played, I blew out my headphones almost. So you might need to turn yourself up a tiny bit now. Let us know in chat if Jeff is too quiet. And yeah, that's it. I think that's all the announcements, the pre-stream announcements.
Okay,
so
I'm up a little bit.
Okay, cool. That sounds good. Thank you, Jeff. If you're new here, I want some raised hands emojis in the chat. Let us know if this is your first time jumping on a vidIQ channel review live stream. And while you do that, you should also pay attention to this video right here, which is going to tell you exactly how this live stream works every week.
Welcome to the vidIQ channel reviews live stream. Simply fill in the correct form in the video description and your channel will be considered for review during a live stream. Channel reviews are free, so no need to send us a super chat, and don't spam us in the live chat. We'll ignore it and you may be put in timeout. After the live stream, don't forget to download the vidIQ extension, where you can get a custom channel audit, daily ideas, and an AI-powered video title generator. Link is in the description. If you submit your channel for review, expect the following. We are sharing nothing more than our knowledge, experience and passion as fellow creators. Thank you to all of our moderators who help us out on the live stream every week. You know who you are. Give us a like if you enjoy this live stream, subscribe if you love it, and share it with like-minded fellow creators. All right, let's get started.
Welcome to everybody who is new to the live stream. You're going to get a lot out of this today. I'm excited for you. We have all kinds of channels, and we've pre-selected some. In the second half of the live stream, we're going to get into those random selections. So, Jeff, are you ready?
Yeah, man. And it's always nice to play that video, because we still get the spirit of El Rob into these streams infused right in. So it's always nice to see that. But yeah, man, I'm good to go, man. Let's kick it off.
Sweet. Okay, cool. So we picked the very first channels who managed to submit on both forms, the gaming form and the non-gaming form. We're going to take a look at the first channel who submitted on the non-gaming form first, and that was Soukups, I think. SoukupsOffroad. They have 42 subscribers, and they are doing off-roading, but it's a lot of snowmobiles. I see some ATVs, a lot of stuff going on here. Not a ton of videos, about 3 months at this. Pretty good amount of content for just getting started, and they are experimenting with shorts as well. Got one here that took off. First thoughts, the first impressions, Jeff. What do you think?
First impressions. I mean, they're obviously a newer channel, so we always want to give them a little bit of leeway because they have to experiment and they have to learn. The first thing I would say, I'm glad that it looks like they are trying to improve on their thumbnails, but they do need a little bit of work. Excuse me, I had a cough drop there. Like the epic sled ripping full video and then epic sled ripping. There's text in there, but I can't really read what it says because it's dark text over a dark backdrop. I only see "and ripping" because it's when it gets over the snow. So if anything, when you're going to use text, firstly, hold on, is it 1, 2? I think it's 5 words. I think I would try to keep it less wordy, and I would use white text with a black like drop shadow on it, and that way you can actually see what it says, because that's what's kind of hurting you here. The next one where it just says "just got thrown off" and just says "oh no," is much easier to read because it's in white, so you can actually read it. So just something to think about, and you can always go back and change these thumbnails. There's no reason why you can't. So definitely something to think about. And also in that bottom right corner, as you can see, there's like a subscribe button that's being covered up. There's no point in putting anything in that bottom right corner. Just don't bother, and don't put subscribe in thumbnails. Nobody's going to subscribe from a thumbnail. So just don't waste that space.
Yeah, thumbnail space, very, very important. You don't want to clutter your thumbnails. That's going to be a theme today, I think. And I'll comment because I noticed all those things you pointed out too. On the thumbnail front, I'll comment on the oh no thumbnail, the latest video. I understand the title and I get that oh no kind of connects to it. You know, getting thrown off any kind of motored vehicle is probably very scary. But the visualization on this, I'm seeing like your neck and helmet, I think, and there's not really a lot here. So you got to imagine this from the perspective of someone who's never seen your channel before. The thumbnail is that eye-catching thing that gets them to stop scrolling. So the title is doing all the work here because the thumbnail doesn't really have a lot going on. So I would say for videos like that, you really want a visualization of what's happening. If you can get a wider shot of you getting thrown off, even if you have to like stage it afterwards or something, that to me would be a lot more impactful as a thumbnail than, you know, what was obviously like, I guess the camera pointed at you in the first moments before you fell off your motored vehicle. I think I can only imagine why you chose that particular shot. So that's going to keep a lot of people from clicking on it because they're not really going to notice it. It's nothing against you. It's just that it's not going to draw their attention.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And this is going to, you know, a part of this is going to be getting away from using screen grabs for your thumbnails. You know, so taking the time to shoot a picture, even if it's with your phone. I do literally all of my thumbnails on my channel with my phone. So even if you're just taking a picture, and just like Dan said, even if you have to stage it, let's say that in the video, there was no screen grab of you like, you know, lying on the ground in the snow or whatever, staging it, totally fine. Because it's still what's going to happen in the video. So we see people at the highest level staging thumbnails.
Yeah.
Mr. Beast, for example. At the highest level, they're doing that because the thumbnail has to sell the content. That's the package. So definitely, I have no issues with people staging thumbnails like that. So long as you're not clickbaiting me in a bad way where, let's say he shows himself like falling off and that's the staged thumbnail, but in the video, he never actually falls off. That's a clickbait. So yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, so there's definitely a lot of work that goes into the title and the thumbnail. And on top of that, and we'll talk about this more tomorrow, the hook of a video. Your first few seconds is so important because people are going to click for a specific reason. They need to be reassured that the thing they clicked for is going to come true. You know, they clicked for a specific reason, a specific value, and you just need to reassure them of that in the first few seconds. You need to work the hardest on those three elements right there, and master those. And I would say all of it's important. You're having a video that is like really strong in terms of editing and pacing and things like that. All that's important. But if no one will even get that far if you don't get those three things right at the very start of the video. So best of luck to you. Thank you for submitting your channel and best of luck as a new creator. This is awesome to see. So please keep at it. The next channel that's submitted is the first gaming channel that's submitted on the gaming forum, CraftR. They have, believe it or not, 10,000 subscribers, which is always cool to see a channel submit who has cracked the 10K mark. So congrats to you. I was looking at this channel for a little bit. I was really confused by it, as one would be, I think, by looking at the titles, the thumbnails, everything else. It is very much like a meme gaming channel. And one of the things I haven't looked at yet were the shorts. Going to most popular, we can see there's some Minecraft shorts that got, you know, over 1 million views, and then we have some really strong performers here, tens of thousands of views. So this, combined with your most popular videos, is probably why you were at 10,000 subscribers, which is awesome to see. I was thinking about this for a while. Like, what do you tell a channel like this? And I still think the traditional advice of knowing your audience still counts, even if your channel is fun meme kind of experiments. You know, there's going to be certain jokes and certain things that happen in your videos that resonate with an audience enough so that video gets 1 million views, like the couple million view videos that you have, right? So I would especially be doubling down on shorts if I were you. And let me see, go to shorts, go to recently uploaded. What was your latest? Like, I just want to see the time frame here. And if we go to the description, okay, cool. We see that you are still uploading shorts. That's really, really good.
Yep.
what jokes were working, what things have happened in your videos that have worked really, really, really well. And your popular button right here, this is the key to that. This is the stuff that has been working for you really, really well so far. And this is the stuff that you want to try to replicate. You know, I'm not saying do the same joke over and over again. It's just, you know, you can always find humor that's in that same vein. And that's really going to be your key to success. I still think channels like this are a bit tough because you're going to find spikes of success here and there. You're going to keep trying stuff and you're going to get tens of views and you're getting tens of thousands of views. And it's just going to depend on how well everything hits. So I still think you can use the advice we give on a regular basis of having a good title, a good thumbnail, making sure it's clear. All of that stuff still counts, even if you're making kind of chaotic content like this. The one thing I will say, I'm just going to give this disclaimer. I didn't watch any of these videos. There's certain signals I'm getting that make me worry a little bit that these might not all be from the same creator, but I'm not accusing this creator of that. It is a thing that we see sometimes. And as a blanket warning for everybody, you don't want to build your channel around someone else's content. I'm using this as an opportunity to say that, but I don't know if that's what's happening here. I just got some vibes. That's all.
Yeah. That's actually a very smart piece of advice that we need to give every once in a while, because we see this all the time. I see this in different creator groups, especially with a lot of newer channels, when they don't get monetized and they can't figure out why. Mm-hmm. And it's usually 9 times out of 10 reused content, because they're not creating their own stuff, or they're not transforming it enough to make it actually a new piece of content. So that's the tough part. You know, sadly, there are a lot of people that are looking for the lowest effort ability to try to get monetized, and it's really not, it's not worth it, to be honest, because I've seen people push it, get to that 1,000 subs, get to the watch time, and then YouTube's like, nope, because you're using someone else's content.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to talk about shorts a little bit because there's a conversation in chat right now, and I'm going to pull something up in the background. You know, people often, like, the reason they don't make shorts is because they don't like it. It's extra work and they're just a way different kind of content, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I want to show you something. It'll take me a minute to pull it up here.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
So I'm going to just give a free shout out to this real quick because I think it's a really cool thing for creators. It is, where are we at here? I'm just going to show the thumbnail because it's a really good representation. This is Harris Heller's channel, Senpai Gaming. And this latest video here, not latest video, one of the latest videos here is about vertical streaming. So Harris Heller is involved in a project, and this is a free plugin you can get for OBS that will run in the background as you're streaming. And you can arrange your broadcast to look differently on this vertical window. And then you can hit a button while you're streaming. It'll, just like a replay buffer, capture the last few minutes, however you set it, of footage, but it'll capture it in a ready-made 9:16 window, so that you can immediately post it to YouTube Shorts, TikTok, or whatever. Or at least if you want to edit it further, part of your work is already done for you. So for anyone out there who's thinking about shorts, but you don't know how it's going to fit into your workflow and you're worried about cropping it and all this other stuff, you could use this to straight up record. You don't have to use it as a replay buffer. You can literally just record out of that window and you'll see exactly how it's going to look to the people who are going to watch it. This, as he said in his video, is free. So please, if you're thinking about shorts and this is one of the things that's stressing you out, find this video on Senpai Gaming's channel, OBS's biggest update ever. And, you know, it's down here. The link's down here.
It's a really good video.
Yeah.
Really good video. I just haven't updated my OBS because I'm afraid of it borking everything like it did last time.
Every time.
Every single time. So so I'm waiting. I'm waiting to hear word that Elgato's put out their updates for the latest OBS update. Then I'll be good to go. Yeah.
Every single time. So
Every time.
I just wanted to point that out because I saw some conversation in the chat about shorts and not enjoying making those. It makes it takes a ton of work off of your plate, which is awesome.
Yeah,
so
great. Anything that'll speed up workflow, especially if it's free. Oh, dude, I'm all over it.
Yeah. Please go find that video if that is something you're struggling with. It works for anybody, and it doesn't have to be gaming. It really doesn't. It's literally a plugin for OBS. If you use OBS to record, you're good. It doesn't have to be gaming. All right. The first channel that was pre-selected, that I pre-selected, was Council of the Rings. This is going to be an interesting one, Jeff. I kind of looked at this channel and I felt the struggle as I looked at it. 20,000 subscribers, okay? You might be thinking, well, what the heck? What's wrong? And you'll notice the latest videos are not getting fantastic views for a channel with 20,000 subscribers. They're okay. They're respectable. That's because this channel kind of, its most recent successes were around the Rings of Power Amazon series. And so they have tens of thousands of views from months ago on the Rings of Power content. And that made a lot of sense for them because they were doing episode reviews and recaps and things like that. And, all of that, they were like dominant in the space. All that makes sense. We've seen that time and time again with TV shows. They claim to be a channel dedicated to Lord of the Rings content. So now that the series is over, all they can really do is kind of wait and hope for like the next season or another Lord of the Rings TV show, movie series, anything. It's kind of that lull moment for them in terms of views where they just have to like chill. So when I saw this, I'm like, I bet you if we were sitting across from this channel right now, the channel owner, they would probably tell us just that, like, I was doing great, now I'm not. What can I do in the interim? With all of that context, Jeff, do you have any like first thoughts on that? Like any bits of advice?
Yeah, I mean, it's always tough because this falls into the ebb and flow of trends, especially when it comes to TV shows. And I see this all the time with channels that do reviews on. There was one that was basically reviewing everything on Netflix, another one that was reviewing everything that was like on Disney Plus. And essentially, like when there's lulls, so like let's say right now there isn't like a hot Marvel show or a hot Star Wars show on, then they're in a lull. And in those times, they would lean on some of the lore, some of the speculation. They would lean on some of the rumors, stuff like that. And also doing shorts. That was another way that they were keeping kind of new viewers and new subs coming in. But that's really what they had leaned into in that time. So they were basically scouring Reddit and like all the different threads and trying to find any information that they could to sort of kind of keep the conversation going in between while they waited for the next thing to hit. Now, I don't know when the next thing for the Lord of the Rings universe is going to land because I'm not that deep in it myself.
Right.
So I just don't know. I don't know if there's a season 2 coming. I don't know if there's going to be another series of movies coming. Like, I don't know. But that's something where I would be looking into that if I was really deep in it to see what's out there in terms of news, rumors, any of that sort of stuff I could talk about in between that stuff. That's what I'd be doing because that's what I've seen work successfully for some of the other channels that I've worked with who do this type of content, but not necessarily Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. So that was the advice I was going to give for sure. When it comes to staying in your space, there's two more suggestions I had for this creator that might at least get their mind moving if they don't like this. We'll see. One of them would be, things that were in the show but weren't in the book or vice versa. So, just stuff that just stuff that you missed kind of videos, right? Like 10 things you missed in Rings of Power or Rings of Power 6 months later or videos like that where you're just kind of like filling time a little bit. But these are like interesting videos that are still about the show that all of your viewers enjoy. That's the advice I have for you if you're to stay on this topic, which I think you should. It's going to be a lull and it's going to be okay. That's like the other thing I wanted to say too. It's okay to see peaks and valleys in your views. That's just the nature of the kind of channel you've built. And when the show comes back, they will find you. You were the person before. And if they start to see you're making videos again, you're the person again. Or if they release a new Lord of the Rings show, movie, whatever it is, you're the authority. If you wanted to start to go outside of your niche a little bit, at least in the meantime, this is kind of a risk, but my one suggestion to you would be, are there any more high fantasy shows, movies, whatever it might be, that you can use and to the very least compare to Lord of the Rings? So the first thought I had was, Rings of Power versus House of the Dragon. First thing that popped in my mind. So now it's a video about Rings of Power still, but you're also bringing in perhaps a new audience that likes similar content, high fantasy, dragons, et cetera, that kind of content. But those are my suggestions for you. I'm hoping that between Jeff and myself, something in there for this creator was at least getting their wheels turning, because that's really what it's about, is just coming up with some new ideas.
Yeah, really what it comes down to. And that's just going to be the nature of how these channels sort of operate. There's an ebb and flow. There's going to be lean times and there's going to be feast times. And when the show was out, they were eating. So, and it just happens. That's just kind of how it works. As a tech channel, I go through the same thing. I go through the exact same thing. So we get big, huge pushes in Q4 every year. So basically September through December, we are eating. But the rest of the year, a little here, a little there, a little here, a little there. But unless a big brand launches something in the middle of the year, pretty much we're in the ebb waiting for the flow.
Yeah. So best of luck to you. And congrats on the success of your channel. It will come back. It will for sure. All right. Next up was 9 Finger Wrenching. I believe this is the one you picked.
Yes, sir. Sorry, I was a little muted there. But yeah, so I picked them. They're doing both shorts and regular videos as well. So that's kind of nice to see that they're kind of dabbling in both. But this is a newer creator. So they haven't been doing it too long. One of the first things that I did notice, though, was on their regular videos that there is a little bit of cadence, consistency issue. So they're not posting too often on the regular videos. It looks like maybe once a month. Not sure what's going on exactly with that, but that might need a little bit of work. But the first thing that really comes across is the thumbnails. They need a lot of work. And mind you, they've only had 7 videos to practice with so far, so I can totally forgive that. But this is something where they would really need to start sort of simplifying things, because there's a lot going on. There really is no need to have their logo in the thumbnails. They included their logo in all but the latest one. Not really a need for that. And then they're extremely wordy. Like, let's say the third one, with the guy pointing at the sky, you have 9 Finger Wrenching. That's a channel name, but you also have 9 Finger Wrenching logo on the lower right. And then you have New Year's Day 2023 riding our Sea-Doo Mississippi River in Memphis, Tennessee. Like, bro, this is way too much text. Like, all of that, don't even need any of that, to be completely honest. It could have been just riding our Sea-Doo. 3 words. You don't need the logo. You don't need the channel name. None of that stuff. So I want to challenge them to, like, sort of like what they did with this latest one, although I'm not sure why the words are in such different places. But keep it at like 3 words or less in your thumbnails. If you want to use text, 3 words or less. You got to give me that elevator pitch, right? The titles are fairly decent for the most part, with the exception of this NFW ride, NFW episode 4. I know it's a 9 Finger Wrenching, but nobody knows that.
Right.
No, you're new here. Nobody knows that. So there's no reason to put that in the title. So just something I want to keep in mind. And you want to make yourself searchable, because you have NFW episode 4, Give Me Fuel, Give Me Fire. And it's about a 1995 C2 GTX, which is in the thumbnail. That should have been in your title to make it more searchable for people who are looking up a C2. Yeah. So there's just some basic stuff here that we need to work on. But I'll turn it over to you, Dan. What do you think?
That's the biggest thing for this channel. I think they're doing some really interesting stuff. I think the barrier to entry on this content is very high. And what I mean by that is not a lot of people have access to some of this stuff. Like, one, it takes skill to be as hands-on as this creator is when it comes to like just the building they're doing and repairing of things and all that stuff. Like, so that's like technical skill that not a lot of people have. And on top of that, like, from Sea-Doos to building cat condos, like just a lot of stuff that people, to replicate what you're doing, they would need access to a lot of things. So that's a really good spot to be in. And everyone knows what a Sea-Doo is. Everyone knows what a cat condo is. Like, so you're in a really, really good spot. So it has to come back to titles and thumbnails. It has to. And I think that the comparison I can make here is you're kind of titling the videos on your channel as if you are a TV station. And you're kind of titling them and pitching them as if people already have recognition of you as your brand, like you're NBC, and this is the programming on your network. And that's not what this is. Like, we're trying to get new people to see your videos. And right now you're kind of catering your titles and your thumbnails to people who have found you in the past based on another video you've done. Maybe Sea-Doo or Sea-Don't, because I would say this is a pretty searchable kind of like title, over 1,000 views on that. And you'll notice not a single video has hit since then, because the titles are so like either generic or confusing. And you're you're kind of like treating this as your own television show, which is a fun thing to do. And I think you can do that when you're in the content. I think it's fine. But for your title and your thumbnail, you really need to treat each one as its own video. So going episode numbers like this, especially for things that don't even relate to each other, it doesn't make any sense. Like one video is about a Sea-Doo and then one's about building a cat condo. Do I really have to see the Sea-Doo video first? Is this some kind of episodic series with story arcs in it that I'm going to miss something if I don't watch the first one? Or can I please just watch the cat condo video? I like cats, but I don't like Sea-Doos. That's kind of where I'm at with this right now. On top of that, when you're going to do a video about a cat condo on a channel that gets a lot of views from Sea-Doos, that could confuse your regular viewers. But I'm even going to put that aside and say, if you're going to do a video about a cat condo, go and do some searches about other people who've built custom cat condos and find thumbnails and titles that you can kind of jump on in terms of inspiration. So homemade cat condo. So like the top thumbnail, look how nice and clean that is. I would say that's still not even great, like still heavily reliant on text, but the cat condo is in a room all by itself on a nice clean wall, and it's blue, so it kind of pops. They've upped the saturation on it a little bit, and they've taken the blue and put it in the text, DIY cat tree. Like, it doesn't get more simple than that. And then there's some other ones here that I think are a bit better. How to build a DIY cat tree. This person's in their workshop. The text is small. It doesn't take up a lot. It's a Home Depot video. So Home Depot here doing a pretty good job with their thumbnails, their marketing. There's a lot of different ways you could approach this that don't even contain cats in the thumbnail. And surprisingly, they do very well. I only click videos with cats in the thumbnail, so I'm kind of surprised, by that. But either way, it's, they're doing a pretty good job. So do that thumbnail research every single time and look at the titles too. It's thumbnail and title. They work together. So once you get that, there's not a lot else we can say. You're already doing a bunch of cool stuff. I think people will flock to your channel. It's just a matter of pitching your videos.
Yeah, packaging is really what it comes down to. Packaging. Titles and thumbnails are really going to be the way to go. Keeping in mind who is it that you're trying to target with this video, and making it as easy for them to understand this as possible. Mm-hmm. Because even though you understand it, the people who could be looking or who you're targeting with this video, they're not going to understand it. I'll tell you that much right now.
Right.
So if they have to click on your video versus all the other ones on YouTube, yeah, you have to keep that in mind. You're not competing with yourself in that sense. You're competing against a lot of other videos where people are taking a little bit more time, doing a little more research, and making that stuff much more clear to understand. You can still say or do whatever you need to do in the video the way you're doing it. We're not here to review videos on this stream, but just for the packaging wise, it definitely needs to get cleaned up a little bit for sure.
So best of luck to Nine Finger Wrenching. Thank you for sharing your channel with us. And We'll look at the next pre-selected channel. It is Full Throttle Cars. They have almost 2,000 subscribers, and they are talking all about cars. I picked this one because I was thinking of you, Jeff. I know how much you like car channels. My first thought, though, you did just do a lot of talking. I'm not trying to throw you under the bus here. My first thought was the different types of cars that are covering. And I immediately, with this channel, although the thumbnails are kind of cool and they obviously have access to some pretty sweet cars, and some videos are doing really, really good and some are not, I have that question mark above my head, like, well, who is this channel for? Because there's just a lot of different stuff here. Like, is it for people who are buying practical cars? Is it for people who drive big trucks? Or is it for people who like sporty, expensive luxury cars? 3 different categories of cars just in like one quick overview here. And that to me is going to be a big, tough thing to kind of figure out for this channel. I mean, it looks like when they cover the more sporty cars, like 2.8K views, 7.5K views, it's not guaranteed though, because this one got 177 views. So there's some things going on there too.
Yeah,
who is the
channel packaging
for?
On that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, unveiling the $5 million Bugatti versus Lotus something. First look at Columbus Cars and Coffee season finale. So yeah, I'm not sure what. Maybe the red popped off the thumbnail more. Maybe the fact that you had so many people in the background of this photo and the text was hard to read, it just didn't work too well. But what do you think? Those are just my initial thoughts.
Yeah, no, I agree. So it depends on who you're trying to target, and car channels do come in a lot of different varieties.
Mhm.
So here's the thing: like when I was shopping for my vehicle, I was essentially watching channels that were created doing car reviews. So they were reviewing a bunch of different vehicles, but that's what they did, right? Their channel was essentially like a utility channel for the most part. Ton of evergreen views, not huge on subscribers. Like some of them had some pretty good subscriber counts, but their view to subscriber ratio was way different. It's just like an educational channel or an evergreen channel where people are coming to get the information they need and they pretty much leave because their next video is not going to be about a Chevy or a Ford. It might be about a Nissan or it could be a Mercedes, right? It's constantly different vehicles, different makes, different models. But once I got my car, I stopped watching those review automotive channels that were covering all kinds of cars, and I found channels that were dedicated to my vehicle. And now I'm watching those channels so I can learn what are the options, what are the different things, maintenance wise, modifications, like what are that. So it's really about who you're targeting is really what it comes down to. And this channel kind of makes me feel like an automotive enthusiast, not a specialist,
Mhm.
but somebody who just kind of likes all types of cars. But that also can make it a little tough to grow because you're a little bit all over the place because you have to really figure out exactly who you want to target. People that are shopping for cars, people who are just into cars. If it's people who are just into cars, we break down into different groups. Some of us are into electrics, some of us are into trucks, some of us are into off-roading, some of us are into muscle cars. So you have to kind of figure out which route you want to go and start trying to aim in that direction. Because not all cars are going to work on, one channel. It just really depends on what the goal of the channel is. All cars can work on a review channel because they're going after shoppers. So that's why that works because that's who they're targeting. But who are you targeting? That's who you really need to think about. So that's the main advice I would give to this channel is to really sit down and really focus on who am I aiming this at? And then let that be your guide on which videos you make next.
Mhm. I think your car enthusiast videos would probably be really great for shorts, by the way. I mean, you're getting thousands of views on these and
Totally.
great for shorts because when people are looking for shorts, they're just kind of scrolling. And so they stop when they see something very expensive and cool that they like Ford GT. And I think that like if you want to have like the two channels in one thing going on, this is a good way to do it because you do this cool sports cars on your short side. On the video side, it's a bit more practical. It's obvious like the Acura TL is something that you own because I just was looking through some other videos. So maybe your channel caters more to people who are doing mods because I'm noticing a lot of mod videos too. So people who can't afford, expensive cars like this might want to just mod their own vehicles, and that's where the other side of your channel comes in. So there's a bit of a symbiosis there, and there's a chance that the shorts viewers may still jump over to your long form content then. And you get to scratch both itches. You get to talk about your cool mods, and you get to go and take video car shows.
Oh, check this out.
Oh, I made a
separate
separate channel for
channel.
shorts.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I didn't want to interrupt you. I made a separate channel for shorts. Felt it didn't carry over to long form. Do you recommend I stick to one channel? How's it doing? That'd be my
that's
question.
the question.
Yeah,
That's the question. If the shorts channel is not popping off, then I would put that stuff on this channel.
let's see similar views. Very similar views here. I guess I would worry a little bit about it translating. Like you obviously worried enough to where you made a shorts channel. What do you think, Jeff? I mean, they did try on their own channel, or their longs channel, for a bit to do similar shorts. Views are virtually the same. Do you think this is a good like bridge, or do you think they were wise to start a separate shorts channel?
No, I think probably a year ago, I would have thought it would have been a better move to have it separately until YouTube finally started building those connections and bridges between our long form and short form content, and also having short form content become searchable and showing up in search results. So now, ever since that kind of came about, which is what about shortly after VidCon last year, now I would put that on the same channel. I wouldn't have it separate. I'd want it all to be under the same on the same roof, because if somebody watches one of your shorts, odds are they can be, get recommended one of your long videos and vice versa. So that's just my opinion. I would probably just go ahead and do them. Like for me, even for myself personally, if I was going to start putting up shorts on YouTube, which I haven't done yet, if I was going to start doing that, I wouldn't start a new channel now. I would actually do it on my main channel, because now we all have our separate spaces. You have your spot for your shorts, you have your spot for your live streams, you have your spot for your videos. So I don't see a reason to separate them at this point.
I generally agree with you. I'm just saying you wouldn't want to post, like, so you're doing videos about headphones. You wouldn't want to post shorts about, I don't know, cooking.
Right.
Like that wouldn't make much sense.
Right.
So I guess what I'm asking in the case of this creator is, are their shorts similar enough to their long form videos to where you feel like they should definitely be in the same channel?
Yeah. That'd be the main question, where they would have to determine that, you know what I mean? But if they're doing cars, shorts, whatever those shorts might be. I know I saw one guy who was doing basically car show and like cars and coffee type of coverage, where he was going to car meets and stuff like that. And the shorts, all it was him getting people to like startups. Like, hey, start your car for me. I'm gonna record it, and that's all the clip was.
Yeah.
It would just be them pointing their camera or their phone at the back of the car, and the person would just start up their car. Every single short's what it was. They were getting a bunch of views on them. Not all of them, but a bunch of them. It wasn't exactly the same thing, but it was still from the same like events that he was at, still aiming at the same people. But it was working well in that sense. So, but that would be for this creator to determine whether it's close enough or not.
So yeah, that is your determination. I think before you answer that question, like that is one question to ask for sure. Before you answer that question, you have to answer the question of who is your channel for, as we discussed at the very beginning of this. I still feel like with your long form videos, especially, it's very confusing to know which direction you're going with this channel. Who are you trying to help here? If you're going to go with mods for cars, like stereos, things like that, I absolutely expect to see like some reviews of these products on the channel. And you can probably do a few different videos with one car mod where you review it, to unbox it, all that fun stuff. You talk about it a week after you've had it installed. You talk about the pain points in it. You talk about like the features you wish it had, the features that it does, the things it does really well. There's a whole channel right there. But yeah, there's a lack of focus, at least in the titles and thumbnails, from our perspective, and that does need to be addressed, I think, before you even can answer the shorts separate channel question. But thank you for watching, and best of luck to you. Quick reminder, like this channel just reminded me, because they are here, engaging with us. There were at least like 3 channels today when I was pre-selecting, Jeff, that I saw that claimed we hadn't reviewed them before, but we absolutely had. So we know a lot of people don't, sometimes they miss their review. So we've just started in the last few weeks actually going back and taking note of channels we reviewed in the past. So if you're wondering if you've gotten reviewed in the last few weeks, this list is going to continue to like grow obviously throughout the year. Please do check the description below these live streams. Now we save all that information for you, so you don't miss it. If you did miss it though, I deliberately skipped over them. If you're going to submit your channel and you don't have time to be there for the live stream, it's totally cool. Be sure you go back though and scrub the live stream and see if your channel was picked, because we've absolutely reviewed some channels that think they've not been reviewed, which is always a shame. So let's talk about some super chats before we get back to the reviews. If you guys give super chats and you're asking questions, we're happy to bring them up on screen for a little bit and answer them. We won't review channels from super chats, but we will happily answer some questions. Gear related said, love the value in this live and all the VidIQs brought me. I just submitted on the forum. We'll see. Best of luck. Thank you so much for the super. Appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. We just had one jump in right now. We can bring it up here real quick. Do you have any advice to give on doing giveaways on YouTube channel? Great live stream as always. I normally recommend against doing giveaways, just because, well, all right, so let me rephrase this. A lot of newer creators tend to do giveaways as a strategy for growing their channel. Subscribe to my channel and I'll do a giveaway. Or at 500 subs, I'm going to do a giveaway. I don't do, well, put it like this. Giveaways attract the wrong kind of people. They're going to attract people who only want something for free. They don't care about you. They don't care about your content. All they care about is what they can get out of you. That's it. And then when they don't win, they will verbally abuse you in your comment section of your videos. They absolutely will. or unsubscribe or whatever it might be. So what I would recommend is if you absolutely feel like you have to do a giveaway, don't put it in the thumbnail, don't put it in the title, and don't announce it in the beginning of a video. So just to be clear, don't do any of that. If you want to do it in a video, you can, I would say, surprise them at the end. For the people that actually made it to the end of the video, a reward for them for sticking around and giving you that audience retention, that watch time. Or secondly, do it in a live stream. That's another option for you. So if you do it in a live stream, once again, don't put it in the thumbnail, don't put it in the title, don't put it in the description. You can just do it while you're live, because that's the last thing you ever want to do, is to say, hey, subscribe to my channel, I'm going to do a giveaway. You grow a bunch of subscribers. I've seen people do this, thousands of subscribers from these giveaways. 10,000 subs, their videos are getting 50 views a video. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because those people don't care. Yeah. So it's really the worst way to do it. I don't have a problem with rewarding our communities, but it's just something to keep in mind that you have to do it for the right reasons, and you just have to be careful with how you do it.
I've seen some really savvy YouTube creators, like we're talking creators with over 100,000 subscribers, do giveaways, and that content gets a lot of views, like more than usual, and it doesn't amount to one single like new viewer on the rest of their channel. It's as soon as everyone loses, I would argue even the winner probably doesn't have a lot of incentive to watch your content from there on out. They got the thing they wanted, and cool, like giveaway successful as far as they're concerned. So yeah, reward your regulars. Great advice there. We have one from EV Pulse. Does a channel trailer help the algorithm? We've been slacking on making one in favor of new content. I think you're doing the right thing. Continue making new content. Take your best content. Whatever is the best representation of your channel right now, make that your trailer.
Yep.
That's
totally agree.
The video people are subscribing from the most, make that your trailer. Because it does help. It helps to have a channel trailer, I believe, because people will investigate who the heck is EV Pulse. Do I want to subscribe to them? Do they make consistent content? And when they see your trailer is that thing that you're putting forward is like, this is me, they're probably going to watch it to help decide if they're going to hit that sub button. We've found that sub button is hit a lot. The sub button on the front page of your channel is the one people are probably using the most. So with that in mind, you do want something there, but I don't think you should waste time on a specific, like, welcome to EV Pulse, I'm Bob, and today we're doing, not today. On this channel, we do this, and that. Just show them. Just show them with your best video. Update it sometimes. As you grow as a creator, as things change your trailer.
Yep. I believe in show me, don't tell me.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We have Philo Rogue here, 42 videos, including shorts, 43 subs. How do I use analytics to see why I'm stagnant? And there's so many variables.
That is a huge question that this stream is not long enough to answer, unfortunately. So I would definitely recommend, if you haven't done so, because I don't know if you have or haven't, I'm not going to accuse you of this, but we have an amazing library of content explaining exactly how to use your analytics, how to read into them, and how to use that data to better help yourself. We have a ton of videos on this exact topic on our channel that you need to check out, because this question is way too broad for us to answer in a short period of time. So I would strongly recommend you check out some of the videos, especially if, I think if I remember correctly, we have some of the videos that are like, if you're under 100 subs or under 1,000 subs, and some of the latest ones as well are really good for this, depending on what kind of content you're doing.
Yeah, I'm looking at our back catalog of videos right now to see if there's anything I can point you to. I can't find the specific video I was thinking about at this time, but definitely check out our playlists and things like that. We talk about analytics in a lot of our content, like a lot. It's kind of second nature for us. So we talk about the things you want to look for in, if this is going wrong, you want to look at this. If that's going wrong, we want to look at this. Like, we do it all the time. Sorry, I don't have anything super. This was great question. I'll try and look for this in the future.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, one of the things that I would normally recommend is this, right? Even if you want something that's going to give you the quickest explanation, if you have the vidIQ tool installed, you can do your own channel audit. We have that built in to the free tools that we offer. And it's going to tell you which videos on your channel are working well, which ones are bringing in subscribers, which ones are getting you watch time, which ones are getting you the most views. Not to mention, it also shows you where what videos are suggesting views to your channel. So that's definitely something I would do for yourself if you have the tool installed already.
Yes, definitely check out our channel audit tool. It's in your dashboard. And then also, I found the video I was thinking of. This was just like bugging me so much. This video is called 8 Tips to Get You Seen by the Algorithm. And this is what the thumbnail looks like. So yeah, there you go. 8 tips to get you seen by the algorithm. This is literally a list of metrics and what they do. So this is a really, really, really great place to start.
Perfect.
I'm like, I know I just had this conversation so recently. Like, where is it, Jeff? I found it. Okay, so yeah, channel audit tool, which I'll just show you real quick, is in your studio dashboard. So on the left-hand panel here, it's right there, channel audit. So there you go. All right. We have even more super chats. I want to get to those in a little while. We will come back to the super chats.
Yep.
Thank you for your submissions. We want to get back to looking at some channels. So why don't we look at the next pre-selected channel, which was Randy May. They've got almost 2,000 subscribers. I believe this was one I picked. They have a very interesting channel because I think they even pitched themselves as a tech channel, if I recall. But they're doing a lot of really cool stuff and getting a lot of views. And I think it's because they are like specializing in like 3D printing. So interesting thumbnails. I would say some stronger than others. They like to use like this vignette in some of theirs where it just kind of like really puts emphasis on the little doodad that they're holding.
I do the same thing.
Yeah. So looking at your most popular videos, again, for channels of this size, if you're coming to us looking for some advice, I highly recommend checking out your most popular video tab. Channel audit can help with this too, of course. But yes, the most popular video tab is always that first clue is like, okay, well, what's worked in the past? What can you double down on? When you do these 3D printing videos, you get a lot of views. This one stood out to me. The 3D printer where you did like a Boba Fett, can you 3D print as examples even more really popular iconic characters? I mean, that's just like a slam dunk right there. When you look at this channel, Jeff, what jumps out at you?
Tech channel does not jump out at me. Maker 3D printing channel is what jumps out at me. So that's really something where I think they need to sort of self-identify in the correct way, because when I think tech channel, I'm thinking PCs or I'm thinking cell phones or stuff like that when I think of a tech channel. I'm not saying that this isn't, but I think this is very, very specifically a 3D printing maker type channel. That's what I'm getting from all these thumbnails, from the topics that we're talking about. That's what I'm getting from these completely. But let's see, because I know the last video actually did super well, and I really like that thumbnail.
Yeah.
It's super simple, very clean. Actually, the last two were very clean and very simple, and it's because it's the thing. He's showing the thing. You don't need a bunch of text. You don't need a bunch of other stuff. You're showing me the thing, and that really gets the point across. So I like that style because it's much simpler. And it's not bad. Like the other one, the third one over with the purple backdrop or the green backdrop. It's not bad, especially if they're talking about a whole machine. It's not a bad idea to actually show the whole machine in the topic. So it just depends on the topic of the video. That's why we see such a stark contrast between these thumbnails. I believe is because it's literally content made for kind of two separate viewers. But I like what I'm seeing so far.
Yeah. I was going to say, the only thing I would look at, and this would be like just on top of the content you're making now, can you do content that's a bit more approachable from the layman's point of view? I think you should continue doing this more technical content where you're obviously reviewing tools and stuff for people who already know exactly what they're looking for, but I've never heard of these words before, and it's telling me that I know nothing about 3D printing. But I thought I knew something about 3D printing in that, there's a machine that can print physical 3D objects. That's kind of cool. So could you be doing some videos here and there where you 3D print very iconic looking things or just interesting things, and it's literally just for the aesthetics of it? It's not to tell people, well, this machine was only $470, or here's this component you need to get really, impressive whatevers. It's literally just you 3D printing something, and you could tell the story about why you're printing it or whatever, or it could just be to some music. I want to see what they're doing in shorts. I just noticed they're doing shorts as well. And I think like 3D printing shorts, I think if you were to just put a camera really tight on 3D printer from nothing to thing getting built, like that would probably stop people scrolling really quick. I know you can't hear it.
Yeah, no audio. That's fine. You know, we
Yeah.
never know what happens with music on some of those. So
there's some Mario music on this one, and they're showing off some stuff they printed. But like, and you can see how short, like how quickly it looped. Like, show me making this. Show me the thing. Like, show me these getting made. You know, that's I think, like, don't underestimate the power of satisfying content. I think you have something here like this. What if you got really zoomed in? You know, this is cool to see from this zoomed out perspective. But what if you got really zoomed in now and I could see this thing because it already looped. So I'm always like, I'm looking at these shorts and I think they're really cool, but I'm left feeling disappointed. I clicked on this one. It has almost 10,000 views. I clicked on it because I could tell something was getting 3D printed. So that's when it's obvious like that something cool is happening. Like, look at, oh my gosh, look at this.
that's pretty dope.
Get even closer and time lapse this.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine getting to see that from like the very start? So that's what it's going to look like. But without the time lapse, I have a feeling, yep, it's going to loop. I'm not going to get to see the finished product. I want to see the finished product. I want to see you put it on, you know? So that's what's kind of missing for me from the shorts. And I like that you are doing something in that vein. So as I was suggesting, like, what if you just did some fun stuff where it wasn't super technical? But now I'm like, oh, but yeah, you're so close. You're just so close. So that's what I would do. I would play around a little bit with that stuff. All right, let's take a look at the next channel that was pre-selected, and we'll look at some more super chats. Brisy Gadgets and Gaming. I believe you picked this one.
Yeah, and this is a different angle on a tech channel. So a little bit different, but yeah, I like what I'm seeing here. So from what I've seen, they're doing some peripherals, they're doing some PC stuff. When I went to most popular, looks like some of their most popular videos were on actual PC components like graphics cards or power supplies, things of that nature. So looks like reviews are one of the things that really work for them. But one of the things I'm noticing is that there's a bit of oddball consistency here. Looks like there was 2 videos in the last month, and then 3 months ago, and then 4 months ago. So they're not posting too often. I don't know if maybe they're just doing more shorts than anything else now. But the cadence is a little odd. And then secondarily, although they have settled on a thumbnail font, like text font and colors and stuff, the thumbnails still are a bit all over the place because the background colors are different. Sometimes they're using more text, sometimes they're in them, sometimes they're not. I don't mind seeing some experimentation, but hopefully one of these styles is something that you can definitely settle on. Although the other thing I'm seeing here is gameplay stuff, which really doesn't seem to be working that well for this channel. So I get that you would want to have that if you're doing PC gaming. If you're talking about the hardware, that you would want to have this on here, but it really doesn't make sense because people aren't really going to be watching this for your gaming. They're going to be watching this for the hardware.
Yeah. I mean, desk setup video on this type of channel makes total sense to me.
Yeah.
Like total sense.
The free YouTube music? No,
it doesn't. I get why that's for the same audience, but it starts to dilute the message. I think it really starts to I want to come to you for the hardware stuff. You know, it's like it also so hard to rank for getting copyright free music. Like,
yeah,
so that's been covered to death. I mean, it's just it's a really tough place to kind of be. So something to consider there. I completely agree with Jeff on all points. I see the Far Cry gameplay, 19 views, but the video before that, 10,000 views when you reviewed some speakers.
Yep, hardware. This channel is a hardware channel, and it sucks because sometimes you think, damn, I have to buy all this stuff, right? You don't. You don't actually have to buy the stuff. You don't. You can still talk about stuff if you have a level of expertise about that stuff. It's called speculative content. People are getting billions of views on YouTube, in tech YouTube specifically, on speculative content, rumors, whatever it might be. So you can totally do that. You don't have to buy every single chunk of hardware that's out there, because I know that would be expensive to try to do a video on every single massive graphics card. Dude, that's so expensive. It's crazy. Doesn't mean you can't make a video about it. You totally can. So just something to keep in mind. But this is really a hardware channel, and if they want to do gaming, I'm totally for that. I just would put it on a different channel.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you for sharing your channel, and I think that's again, like I think that's review done, because you have some very big videos here, heavy hitters. It's very obvious where you need to go with your channel. So when you're ready, I would drop the gameplay videos and really focus on stuff like this. You're providing people a lot of value, and it's working. So best of luck. Before we move on to more channels, we did build up a lot of super chats in that time.
That's usually how it goes. We read one and then they multiply.
Yeah, like what's going on? Jared, thank you for a super chat. Is there lag between VidIQ website stats and YouTube Studio stats? What do you think?
No, there is.
Yeah, like I think in certain cases there could be. If it's really like off though, like don't be afraid to let us know. Like hit up our customer service.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's going to be a delay, because YouTube is always going to have it's their data.
Yeah.
So they're always going to have first access to their data. We're getting the data from them about you. So there's going to be a little bit of a time delay there. But yeah, just like Dan said, if you notice that it's like either way off or a huge discrepancy, please screenshots, send it over to support@vidIQ, and that way we can take a look at it. And if it's something that we need to fix, we can go ahead and jump on it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a good question. I use vidIQ as a very macro tool myself, so I'm not really paying attention to how closely things are relating. So I didn't even like consider that, but it's a great question. And yeah, thank you for using vidIQ. Is vertical YouTube Shorts thumbnail customization available on iPhone? If so, how to share? Can you share with me the link? I don't think you can select a thumbnail on iPhone yet.
Nope.
Android you can.
Yes.
And the way that works is you can't upload a custom thumbnail. You can literally just scrub and select a single frame of your video.
Correct. But it's like people aren't clicking because of thumbnails on shorts. That's the thing. Like, I get why people want to do it, and people are super passionate and like all angry and stuff on Twitter about it. And I'm just like, ain't nobody clicking on your shorts thumbnails. Like, you need to calm down. let shorts operate the way the shorts operate. Move on to the next one. Don't worry about the minutia. If you want to spend time focusing on thumbnails, do that on your regular videos. Because I see people crying about thumbnails on their shorts, but their regular video thumbnails are trash.
Yeah.
So we need to put the effort where it needs to be.
It's also like, I've tested this feature, and not all areas of YouTube show the thumbnail that I selected when the rare chance your short happens to show up on the home feed. Because really, like, you're only picking the thumbnail for this part of YouTube right here. But every single one of these shorts counts as an entry point to the short shelf. So you're going to see this thumbnail or this thumbnail, but the next video you watch after you swipe away is going to be a thumbnail you never saw before. So you're really only spending that extra time picking for the chance you make it right here. And it's not gonna move the needle. All right, next up we have Nine Figure Wrenching, who's saying, appreciate your advice. So thank you so much for your knowledge and taking the time to help us new channels. Now I have to change some things. Enjoy. Thank you so much, Nine Figure Wrenching. Best of luck to you.
Yeah, looking forward to see how you make those changes.
Yeah. What metrics should I examine when deciding to stick with a specific upload schedule, or only upload when the latest video is losing traction? I think I've seen this like concern before. AKA, how do you know if I'm choking videos with too many uploads in a week?
You got to test it.
Yeah.
You got to test it.
I
actually like slowing down. I've seen so many creators do better. First of all, better performance on their channel and better mental health from not absolutely crushing themselves trying to do daily videos or 3 videos a week or however many videos per week they were doing. I know guys that are doing great. Like, even for myself, when I was doing, it was a certain point where I was doing 3 videos per week for a few weeks, and it wasn't doing what I thought it was going to do. And when I dialed it back to the one video, one stream per week, not only was that easier for me and gave me more time to spend with my family, but my channel actually started growing faster because each video started getting more views and getting more time to breathe. So this is usually what I tell people. If you're doing a lot of content, try slowing it down. If you're doing 5 a week, try doing 3 a week. If you're doing 3 a week, try doing 1 or 2 a week and see what works. But that's really the only way to really find out is to give it a try. You're not going to kill your channel or anything. It's just experimenting.
Yeah, I think there's a point in which you can choke out your videos. I just don't know if that's going to be, oh, I upload 3 a week and I'm choking, you know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and my Friday video is choking my Wednesday video. I don't think it's going to work like that. Like once there's been that much time, I think the Friday video can only help the Wednesday video because people, maybe some new viewers see it and then like, what else does this person do? And they want to look at your other latest videos. So I wouldn't overthink it. If you're uploading a lot every day, then that's like a different story. Then I think you are kind of like taking suggestions away from yourself, right? Like you have some time for a video to be in the home feed, but you keep posting. So YouTube's only going to give you so much real estate in that home feed. You got to be a little bit, I think, careful in that regard. But I wouldn't worry too much about it from that angle. Like Jeff was saying, though, you're gonna get some time back when you take a break, and that can only help your quality. Just the fact that you've stepped away is going to help you so much, because if you feel like you're stressing getting so many videos out a week or whatever it might be, like take a step back and then work a little bit harder on the thumbnail for that video, for that upload, you know, for the next upload. Like where you could have been making a different video, like slow down, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. But I wouldn't overthink it for sure. Okay. Got one here from Josh who wants to know how to tell if they've been shadow banned. They think their videos are good. How do you tell if you've been shadow banned?
Well, here's the thing, right? The best way to tell is if your videos are getting like age gated or something like that, right? If you're doing stuff that's against TOS or people find it harmful or really controversial topics, you're probably going to know that it's being restricted because you're going to see like an age restriction on your videos, things of that nature. If somebody clicks on your video, might get a warning that says, you know, graphic, and you have to click like agree or whatever it is. But shadow banning, not really a thing like how it is on, say, something like TikTok or Instagram, where we've seen that. On YouTube, not really a thing. So
I think there's debates about this, but yeah, if your video isn't even getting that signal from YouTube that it's been somethinged, like age restrictions or something like that, you're probably fine. Your videos might be the best thing in the world. How are your titles and thumbnails?
Yeah.
No one's clicking on them, and it's not because you suck at editing. It might be because the titles and thumbnails are not attracting them. So it's hard to tell without looking at the channel, obviously. But best of luck. Maddox, thank you for the super. Synergy effect. What really is considered the shorts shelf? The short shelf, I think, in my opinion, YouTube hasn't necessarily pointed, Jeff, as far as I know, and said, that's the short shelf. Like, we just kind of started calling it this, right? In my opinion, the short shelf is this space right here. So that is a shelf on the website that is designated for shorts. And sometimes as you scroll, you will see multiple short shelves. Right, here's one. But this is for a community post. I would call this a community post shelf. So it's just kind of lingo. So yeah, when you hear me anyway refer to the short shelf, I'm talking about this. And then you enter YouTube Shorts from the short shelf. So when you click on a short, I've now entered YouTube Shorts from the shelf. So now this is not the shelf. This is me just scrolling. That's kind of how I'm looking at it.
Correct. Yep.
You agree with that?
Yep.
Cool. We have Fantax Racing here. Should I make live streams unlisted after they end? No! My opinion is no, screaming into the sky like Darth Vader. Don't do it.
Yeah. The only reason I would ever say yes to that is if you're being lazy and not planning out your live streams ahead of time. So you're not doing a title or planning a topic or coming up with a good thumbnail, like giving your live stream replayability. If you're not doing that, then maybe I would consider unlisting it. But for the most part, I probably would just let it be live on its own thing because now it's on its own section of your YouTube channel. So I really wouldn't sweat it. But if you're one of those people that's streaming like that, you need to watch Dan's latest video about, how to live stream. It dropped on Monday, if I remember correctly. And yeah, so that's that. You need to watch that video. It's actually very good, excellent advice. So anybody who's live streaming, you want to know how to grow a channel, you really, really need to watch that video.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate that. A Plus Russian says, never made a video over 15 minutes. Posting 30-minute video, okay?
Hell yeah, go for it. Do it.
Test it. When it comes to any question like this, I always say, like, you don't need our permission. Like, YouTube isn't. You should treat your channel like a testing ground. If you have an idea and you're a little bit worried about it, like, there's always your next video. Test it. You're not going to break anything. Best of luck. I stopped uploading for 8 months. Now I re-upload better videos, but I only get 100 views. What should I do? Make a new channel, Google Ads. What happens?
So how do you know that they're better videos?
Maybe they spent some time scaling up. I mean, maybe they genuinely feel like there's been an evolution in their thumbnails and things like that. Yeah, it's possible.
The thing is this, we've seen channels do very well even after not having uploaded for years. We've seen this. The thing is, you could have amazing videos, but is it about a topic that anybody cares about? Is your packaging good enough? Did you level up your title and thumbnail skills to keep up with what's going on now versus 8 months ago? That's really what you have to start really thinking about. If you feel that you'd be better off starting a new channel, then hey, go for it. Especially if you already upgraded your skills, you're going to start off on a better foot, but you are going to be starting over. So either way, whether you start the new channel or you stay on this channel, you're going to have to commit to making videos to get traction started again, whether that's on a new channel or this channel. So one video is not going to do it. You can't expect to be gone for 8 months and get the same views you were getting before. It's not how this works. Because as soon as you stop making videos, YouTube started recommending other people's channels to those viewers. You have to find a way to get back in.
Yeah, I would treat your current channel like a new channel. But if you're making videos about the same topic you were before, you just feel like they're stronger, keep going. Just keep going. Pretend you're starting from scratch. Some of your former viewers will probably be alerted at some point that you're back, and they'll choose whether or not to check you out. But yeah, don't look at the views you used to get and hold yourself to that standard. You took a break, and it's okay that you did that. But now since it was a long break, it's just going to take a while to get things moving again. You gotta grease the wheels, and the only grease that works on YouTube is more videos.
Yeah, agreed.
And then Shelly asks, I get about 2 to 10K views on shorts. I have 14 shorts. Is that good or below average? Sounds really good.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds like really good views.
Yeah, remember, virality is overrated. So getting a couple thousand views, excellent. If your views aren't getting millions of views on the very first one, you didn't fail. Virality is totally overrated.
Thank you for your supers. We're going to start looking at some channels again. And now we are into the random selections. What that means is if you submitted on the form, whether you submitted an hour ago or you're going to submit right now, you have a chance to get your channel picked. And we're gonna pick it like this. It's the claw.
Good old Clawbert is back.
Yes, we're going to be using the claw to randomly select your channels. We have 358 responses on the non-gaming form, 319 on the gaming form. I'm going to unmute the claw. Let me mute that again. And I'm going to go into here and type in 375. We're going to pick gaming channel 193. And we're going to see what the channel's all about. They claim they are doing shorts primarily, and the type of content they make is trolling/gaming. What's the difference, really? All right. So they did say shorts. They've made 4 shorts. So there's not a lot for us to jump on here. First advice is make more shorts. I can't click any of these because I can tell just by the latest one, we're going to have obscene language.
Yep.
Worth noting that YouTube is treating swear words a bit differently these days, and shorts monetization did just cut out, so you might not be eligible for monetization if you're putting a bunch of swear words in the first, I would say, 8 to 15 seconds, I believe the language states on the website. So be careful with that.
People are doing the 30-second buffer just to try to be safe.
Yeah. So definitely be careful with that. And just, it's about continuing to make content. With 4 shorts, not much we can say. You got to test some stuff out. You got to build up a reputation on YouTube first.
Yeah.
All
you
right.
got to do the thing, especially with shorts, man. There's no excuse.
74. We have a self-improvement channel. You even copy the link. What happened? There we go. All right. So there's a lot of different stuff going on here. I'm not sure if this is this person's content, and I'm also not sure if there's much we can do for this channel, Jeff.
Yeah, for me, so I don't know if they're doing like voiceovers on this or what's going on. It feels very much like reused content. So the thumbnails I would say are probably okay, ish. I'm not a huge fan of the red text, but yeah, it feels like they're probably just taking other pieces of content and reusing it. But it's hard to say. Like I said,
Yeah,
it's one of those things where we have to be very, very sketchy with on that one.
Yeah, we have some guidelines posted in the description, and I feel like that channel may bump up against those, so we are going to move on as per policy. 293 now. We'll do another non-gaming channel. Nerds. Like they're just doing shorts. Primes versus Primes. They've been doing that for a little while. It seems to be like a series running on their shorts. But not a ton of views on these. Let's check out the most popular. Okay, so a few scenes from like movies and stuff, it looks like, getting a couple thousand views here and there. But again, we are seeing a lot of reused content. Hopefully, the creator is transforming these videos enough to get out of, that copyright territory. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I get what they're doing because it's like kind of going after some of the trends in like pop culture, different scenes, different genres of stuff, obviously. It's just I don't know, man. For me as a growth strategy, like I think you can still do this and get a bunch of views and probably even a bunch of subs because I've seen that before, but not monetizable. It's like I had spoken with a shorts creator who was doing sort of a similar thing, literally over 100,000 subs, getting millions of views. YouTube would not monetize because all the content was reused. They wouldn't do it. So all that effort, it's like cool. You get the bragging rights of getting that 100,000 plaque, but it's like, what is it getting you really, right? So just something to think about for the long run. Think about the long game here and what it is that your goals are on YouTube. You can do this for sure. Have fun with it. If that's all it is, no problem. Knock yourself out. But if at some point you want to get monetized, if you at some point want to make at least a little bit of change off of the effort that you're doing, you're probably gonna have to take a different strategy.
Yeah. I would say that if I've made this many videos in the same vein and only a few of them really took off, I think it's time to try something new, completely different. Start giving, instead of just taking clips from these shows and movies, start giving your own take on them. Like, you can maybe use some of the B-roll, but maybe put yourself in these. Just make the content feel a little more original. This weird score that you put on all these might be confusing to new viewers scrolling on the short shelf. There's just a lot going on here that raises a bunch of question marks, and you also risk your content not being eligibly monetized. And then we have to ask you, what's your goal on YouTube? If you're not looking to like grow and like maybe start a business or anything like that, like what is the goal here? So yeah, I do think this one's a tough one since it is shorts. We'd have to watch these for quite a while to like get a good reason or get some good senses as to what you're doing, and we don't have time for that today, but hopefully there was at least a nugget in here that was helpful to you. We will go to the next one. We'll pull out a gaming channel this time. 39. Gray Matter Gaming. They play Minecraft. Alrighty.
Surprised they don't, well, let's see. Well, they do have some shorts. Okay, I was thinking, I'm surprised they're not doing a bunch of shorts.
We do have a handful of shorts, getting
Yeah.
some pretty solid views. For this amount of shorts, I'd say this is pretty cool. I would be looking at these three. I'd be looking at the first few seconds, trying to see what was different between these and these. Looks like you're playing Minecraft Hardcore. Very, very popular space to be in. Hardcore, for anyone who doesn't know, if you die in the game, your whole world gets deleted. So the stakes are pretty high because Minecraft, the more you play it, the more you have invested in it. You know, you've built up a lot of supplies. You've built up a lot of cool stuff. You fall off a big roof or something, you're done. So it's very interesting content to watch. I think people really get excited about it. And then start with a thumbnail like this where it's like game over. That's got to be pretty click worthy. So yeah, there's some pretty interesting things going on here. We talk about Minecraft channels a lot. Jeff, I think the advice here, how do you stand out as a Minecraft creator? You don't want to just play Minecraft, so doing hardcore adds some stakes to it kind of by default, which is kind of nice. But again, low barrier to entry here. Everybody owns Minecraft. As long as they have the game Minecraft, they can start their own hardcore world by clicking one button. So hardcore is not a thing that's really hard to access. So now you have to set yourself apart in other ways by being an excellent builder, by doing really high stakes challenges within hardcore. And then every episode becomes even like more intense because the longer you go, the more you've built up and the more that's at risk, you know, and then you want to play up that risk in your titles and your thumbnails and things like that. So there's a lot of different like ways to like think about this. I'll tell you this, title, thumbnail advice. That's just my general Minecraft advice for you. Minecraft's a very tough space to be in. Island hardcore. I let AI designs my house. There's two different pitches going on here. One of them is kind of boring and one of them is really trendy.
Yep.
Lean into the trend. Island house. Everyone's built an island house in Minecraft if they've played Minecraft for more than 10 minutes. No one cares about your island house, but you let AI design your house. Now we have a video, okay? Minecraft Hardcore could still be in the thumbnail as the context for, you know, where this is happening. But I want to see the side-by-side of like the house and then something. I don't know what, because I haven't seen the video, but something that symbolizes the AI that you used. All you could do is something very simple. ChatGPT logo in a text box and it says something like 2 or 3 words, very simple. No roof. Something very simple. So people see immediately, they recognize the ChatGPT logo and they see that it's giving you advice. And they see the thing in the other half of the thumbnail that's being built following that advice. This is the kind of thoughts that need to be running through your head when you're considering titles and thumbnails. I hope you redo it because I'm actually really believe in that idea. I think that's a really good way to pitch a video. If you're going to let AI guide your journey in Minecraft hardcore mode, that might be just the thing that you need to separate yourself from all the other people playing Minecraft hardcore mode. You have a really good start here. You almost have 200 subscribers. You're getting hundreds of views. So I do hope that tangent was helpful to you because, again, Minecraft is just low barrier to entry. You got to do stuff to really stand apart. Follow the trends. Don't be afraid to lean super hard into trends. I don't know if you have anything to add. That was my impassioned speech about Minecraft.
No, I mean, I completely agree, man. And, you know, that's one of the things where you have to humanize it a bit. And one thing I also recommend is not only to look at, you know, your own niche, look at some of the other adjacent niches, whether it's Roblox, whether it's some of the other gaming, to see if you can pull some ideas that may work in your niche, something different that is resonating well with other audiences that might be interesting to your audience. So research is always going to be very, very, very key for all of this.
We will look at a few supers real quick before we go to the next channel. Is the fitness niche the hardest to be successful in? I don't think so.
No.
I think gaming is one of the hardest. I think,
yeah,
you know what I think? I think every niche that someone is in, that person will feel like it's the hardest one to be successful in. Because you know better than anybody how many channels you're up against that are doing a similar thing to you because you've been doing the research. And you're going to feel overwhelmed. You're going to feel like, okay, how am I supposed to stand out here? But what we just saw was a Minecraft channel that's been doing Minecraft consistently for a while. that has over 200 subscribers, that some videos have several thousand views. They're standing out in one of the most crowded spaces on YouTube. One of the most crowded spaces on YouTube. I mean, that's pretty cool. So even if we're wrong and it is the most crowded space on YouTube, like, what can you do to stand out? That's really all it is. At the end of the day, what are you doing that brings a lot of value to people and ups the ante if possible?
Yeah, exactly. How are you going to take the fitness niche in your fitness videos? How are you going to take it a step further than everybody else who's doing the bare minimum? Right? How are you going to take it one step further? That's what you got to ask yourself. But I totally agree. Every niche, they think it's going to be the most difficult. From having a bird's eye view of literally hundreds of channels now over the past few years, I agree with Dan. Gaming seems to be the toughest because
we need a whole separate forum for gaming.
Firstly, and then secondly, because it's so low barrier to entry that people try to do the bare minimum and then don't understand why they don't grow. It's like, yo, if it's easy enough for you to get started, it's literally easy enough for millions of other people to get started. So what are you going to do to make it a step further, right? 2 steps further, 3 steps further, right? Making videos that people want to watch, making stuff that's clickable. You have to put in the work. So that's something to think about. The only ones that I see where people would say, oh, this is an easier niche, would be the ones that require an expert level of knowledge in that field, because they're going to be experts in it, right? So like real estate, finance, stuff like that, they can grow very well, but think about the knowledge level that it takes to be in that niche. So just something to think about, but we all go through it. Trust me. Yeah. We all go through it.
Skill up, wherever you feel like, you could use some improvements, work on that. Take the extra time. If it's thumbnails, go on YouTube or maybe a course, like a skilling up kind of website, and learn about thumbnails, learn about Photoshop if that's the software you're using or you would like to use. Like, take the time to educate yourself on the areas where you feel like you could use some improvement, because there's a part of YouTube, I think, this might be wrong, but I feel like, because I kind of fell into this trap, if you spend too much time educating yourself on this side of YouTube, the vidIQ side, the side where people tell you how to get more views and subscribers and all that stuff, you forget about the other side. That's the side that is the physical doing the thing. You can learn about the YouTube algorithm all day long, how to get more views, how to get more subscribers, but you still have to do the other part of the work. And that's, okay, I know YouTube, I understand how it works. Now I have to go out and train on blank. I have to learn how to fix cars because I want a car mechanic channel. I have to learn a bunch of fitness techniques because I want a fitness channel. I have to learn how to make better thumbnails because no one's clicking on my videos, but I'm an expert in this thing and I think I do a really good job. There's another side of the education. It does not stop at vidIQ. We have coaching and we have other, resources for you that if you invest even more in vidIQ, you can talk to some of our coaches and things like that. And then you can have us help you get on the right track. I'm not saying, we don't offer some gateways, but at the end of the day, you still got to do the work. And that's what it is. So yeah, hopefully that was of some help. Thank you for the super. Diesb. I don't know if I'm saying your name right. I did beep out swearing. Does that still affect? It's a risk.
Jury's still out on that.
Yeah, it's a risk. People argue about this. I think if you beep it out, you're fine. But it's all about context too. Like, YouTube may not want to take the risks. If you're saying something that's very obvious what you're saying, is that still not putting the word in people's head? So there might be that internal discussion over at YouTube going on, and it's hard for us to sit here and say whether or not it would work. It's a risk.
Yeah, I would mute that portion and then also throw the beep over it, so there's no chance of the AI hearing or seeing. You could even blur your mouth to make sure that it doesn't read your lips, just to be super safe. That's what I would do. Like, I don't curse in my videos, to be totally clear with you guys. I don't curse in my videos. If I did, that's how I would do it. I would mute that section. I would throw the beep in, and I would blur my mouth. So there would be literally no way that this robot could tell what I just said.
Yeah. Got a great question here. Does YouTube branding matter? It it depends on what stage you are, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think you could give advice to either side of this, and both sides make really strong points. We talk to a lot of people who are really into branding, really into starting a really strong brand, and they don't give any bad advice at all. Like they talk about how your name and your channel banner, all that stuff, like, matters a lot. And I think on some level they're right, but I think if you're just starting out, my personal opinion is you want to learn how to make videos. You shouldn't be so hung up on my channel art still stinks. Like, deal with it when you can deal with it. Like, learn the fundamentals of YouTube first. You don't have to be an expert at all this overnight, but I do think you should prioritize it, especially if you want to be in business one day. If you would like your channel to be seen as like a professional grade YouTube channel. I don't know if you have any other take on that, Jeff. That's how I would approach it.
No, totally agree, man. Totally agree. And then the last one here is from Slyfiel. Where do you get music and graphics from? So that's very easy to find if you search on YouTube for that stuff. Epidemic Sound, YouTube's own music library. They have their own that you can use music from. You just have to be careful, pay attention to the instructions and make sure you're given credit if it's credit that's needed, any of that sort of stuff. Epidemic Sound, Music Bed, there's licensing services you can use. Graphics, same thing. Not YouTube, but there's third-party services that offer graphics and things of that nature. So the best ones aren't going to be free, just to be very, very clear, because you have to pay for a license. Otherwise, you can get hit with copyright claims and things of that nature. So you do have to be careful with that.
Yeah, we offer a 50% off the annual purchase of Epidemic Sound. It's in the description below. I just put it in chat as well. So that is one place you can get excellent music, and yeah, that should help you out. So we have a I think it's an affiliate deal with them. So please do check that out. And then yeah, for graphics things like that, there's also different areas you can go as well. Like Envato Elements is one we use for like some B-roll and different things. All of the stuff we use is we go through the proper channels to make sure it is licensed properly so that we don't get in any kind of trouble. Especially as you grow and stuff like that, like, you don't want to be spending time on Google Images trying to like take other people's work to craft your thumbnails and things like that. So that's really, really important. All right, cool. So thank you for your supers. We'll come back to those in a little while. We got some more channels we want to randomly select here. So let me just readjust my windows here, and we will go back to the CLAAAAAW. Let me just double check here that we're probably in need of updating the CLAAAAW's numbers. So let me just bump this up to like 400, and we're going to look at a non-gaming channel. 388. Well, dang it. We're not quite there yet. Let me try again. 289. Okay, fine. Fine, Claw. Board Piano Adventures.
Oh, Clobbert. Clobbert's getting picky, I see.
Piano covers and playing.
Whenever I hear piano covers, I think of like, somebody actually like throwing a fabric or a sheet over a piano. I don't think of like, sorry, that's just me.
Well, that's the first thing you got to change then. No, kidding.
That's just me. I'm being facetious, I guess.
So, you just started, really. So this is a strong start. I think your thumbnails are very interesting for a piano channel. I haven't quite seen them done this way before, and I think there's one obvious thing that's standing out to me with this channel. You seem to be doing covers of music that would appeal to widely different audiences. There's like an anime here, and there's Garth Brooks. There's some stuff I've never heard of, which could be from different animes or classical. I have no idea. I would pick a lane in terms of like what kinds of genre of music, because this is all about building an audience of people who return to your channel, and hopefully one big enough to where there's plenty of new people who could discover your channel along the way who also like the similar thing. So if you're doing piano covers of a certain genre of music, a certain era, you're going to be a lot more successful than kind of cherry picking these different songs from these different time frames and IP. It's kind of just with these 5 videos, I kind of feel like we're all over the place, but some of the stuff I actually don't know what it is. So I could be wrong in a couple cases. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, it's one thing to like go after trending content, which you can do.
Yeah.
But that was one of the things. Well, firstly, this is one of the things I would recommend is definitely you want to choose an audience, right? So I wouldn't be just aiming at all genres because you're aiming at too many different people. Even myself, who I appreciate a good piano cover, a good violin cover, a good drum cover.
Yeah.
But I'm into certain genres of music. So if it's a rock cover or a classical cover, I may not want to watch that. But if it's a hip hop cover or a K-pop cover, maybe that's who I'm into and that's what I'll watch. So that's one of the things that has worked actually quite well for an older student of mine from about 2 years ago, where when he's doing drum covers, a drum cover channel. And when he was doing drum covers of the songs that he liked, so like classic rock songs and stuff, good songs, just to be clear, very good songs, you know, they would get a couple hundred views, maybe a couple thousand views here and there. But when he decided that he was going to go after specifically trending hip hop songs, so that's what he started going after. He did one; it did super well. We're talking about where he was getting hundreds to 1 or 2K views per video, to where he did a hip hop cover and it got like 25, 30,000. He was like, "Whoa, what is this about? Let's try that again." Boom, nailed it again. Then he started going after trending ones. And that's when things really took off, where he went from 30,000 subscribers to over 100,000, was because he was going after one, music that was popular, two, the same genre of music. And he would still throw in a rock cover or some other type of thing every now and then. But once he saw the audience that was really gravitating towards this, he started figuring out, okay, what do they want to hear? What songs are popular right now? And let me drop a drum cover on this. And he started doing super, super well. But that's because he chose a lane and he chose an audience to aim at. He wasn't just throwing out everything.
Yeah.
So just throwing that out there, but it can work if you want to go that direction.
Yeah. So all of that is probably going to set you on a really good path if you take that advice to heart. The only other thing is thumbnails. I would do some thumbnail research, some title research from like more successful piano cover channels and start to get those tuned in a little bit, because I kind of feel like I don't know, the piano is not translating all the time to me. That the way you split it down the middle, it just kind of looks like two different things completely. And it could be a personal preference. Do a little bit of extra research. Quick branding discussion. We did just get a question recently about branding. This icon right here does not really say Board Piano Adventures. This says Fallout or Minecraft, depending on which part of the logo you look at.
True.
So that's what we're talking about. I wouldn't worry about it now, but I would try and like find something that fits the brand of your channel a little bit better. This might be two games that you're very passionate about, and that's great, but it has nothing to do with playing piano. So keep that in mind as well. This is exactly what I'm talking about with branding. You know, what if this channel got really popular one day? What if you got people wanting to sponsor your content? You want them to take you seriously, and I think that's where kind of branding comes in. So yeah, a lot of different things there. Also do shorts. I think if you were to just open up a short with like just some really cool cover of a really familiar song, like, oh my gosh, like people will stop scrolling. That'd be really a great way to introduce you. Like, I think shorts as a discovery tool for music channels is like, crazy, great opportunity.
I stumbled on some awesome bass covers. Like, dude who plays a sick bass doing, what was he doing? Oh, I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh my goodness. Oh, well, he was doing a lot of like older oldies. Like 50s, 60s, 70s, like Motown and that sort of stuff, but with his bass, and the bass has a very certain tone to it that reminds me of Carlos Santana. But I found him on TikTok and his videos were just taking off. I was like, oh wow. So yeah, just something to think about. But yeah, I agree. Shorts can work really well, especially if you're putting in a memorable section of a song, if it's like the chorus or whatever it might be that's super memorable. It can really work in your favor, because that's where some of those videos started. It started right at the chorus. So you instantly got the melody.
Yep. Best of luck. Let's look at a gaming channel now. 331. All right. This one pretty recent. 7,300 subscribers. They do game analysis. This should be interesting. Welcome to Hidden Retrospectives and Stuff. Alrighty. Uncovering the sad reality behind. Sorry, I'm not too familiar with Dragon Ball, but look at this, Jeff. We're getting tens of thousands of views.
Nice.
This is great.
Interesting. Odd, but that they threw in a Pokemon and then also a Assassin's Creed video in there too, which is odd. So they're kind of a little bit. There is some variety here.
There's a bit of variety. I guess because there's anime behind them, I can see Dragon Ball and Pokemon being kind of similar, but very obviously just by looking at the views on this, totally different fan bases because a lot of the Dragon Ball people are not coming in for the Pokemon stuff. And so I think doing this type of analytical, retrospective kind of content in gaming, really good place to be. I would say we've talked about it a little bit today, higher and lower barriers to entry. I think, heck, this is a higher barrier to entry because there's probably a lot of research involved with making this content. So, yeah, this is really, really good. The best advice I have for you, you might not want to hear this, you should probably stick to Dragon Ball. I kind of feel like that's the bread and butter of this channel.
Hip popular? Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Tenkachi, okay. Retrospective, okay. Looks like we don't even see a different game until the 8th video, the Jack and Dexter trilogy. And then again, below this, there's 4 more Dragon Ball, and then 4 more Dragon Ball. And then finally we get into another Jack and Dexter. So, yeah. I mean, that's really what it is. And I'm sure that they probably want to spread their wings a little bit on this stuff, which is fine. You can always experiment. Like, that's not a problem. But it really is, your bread and butter is really going to be Dragon Ball Z. That 100%.
And it's okay. Like, listen, even your lower viewed videos are still pretty good. I mean, 1,000 to 2,000 views on a video that's outside of your normal topic is not a bad thing. So I wouldn't necessarily say that you're not allowed to cover that content. And look, you tried something different. It didn't do as well. When you get back to the Dragon Ball content, look, 72,000 views. We have Sly Cooper. We have a Dragon Ball Z movie that didn't do super well. Pokemon video that didn't do super well. But boom, after you did those, you got a video with 72,000 views. So you tested a few different things. It didn't even break anything. You came out better in the end for it, which is really awesome. So yeah, you've licensed to do different things. I would be wondering, like, maybe there are some things you can do with titles and thumbnails when you're not covering Dragon Ball Z. Like, you have a very specific style. Maybe these other videos need to be set apart from that style, like really own that it's a whole different audience. I think the Assassin's Creed video is a good example because it's so different looking than the other ones. But the Pokemon video looks really, really similar because of that purple background. The Sly Cooper video as well. So it kind of feels like you're targeting your regular viewers who like the Dragon Ball Z stuff when you could target a whole different set of viewers. But it could just be that the Dragon Ball Z fan base is just maybe a lot larger, there's a lot of different games. There's a lot of different like areas you can go down, a lot of different paths you can go down. Whereas like Pokemon, for example, has had like a very straightforward lineup of video games. I feel like there's way more Dragon Ball games that do all kinds of different things, and Pokemon's just always kind of been the same. It feels like 2 different audiences to me.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Hard to say if we were super helpful in this one, but when we see a channel like this that's doing really good, sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes it's kind of a matter of like, hey, look what worked in the past. Keep doing that.
Yeah. But also, it can be a matter of time because I don't know how long they've been at it for, but it feels like they've been at it for a while, obviously. But it's just one of those things where consistency is really going to help, especially aiming at that audience, like really refining what it is that they want to watch. And they can obviously ask questions. They can go into their own comments and see what people want to see or what kind of questions they're asking. But you can also look at your competitors as well. You're looking at their videos. What topics right now are doing super well in this genre, and then also go into their comment section and start looking at what are people asking in there as well. But really, research is going to be key. It's really what it's going to come down to. And I've said it before multiple times in the stream, but that's really what it comes down to is research. What do people want to watch? That's really what it comes down to. And how can you serve that audience best?
So there you go. Before we get to the next channel, let's hit some of these super chats. Thank you all for your super chats. Appreciate you. Thanks for the help climbing 300 subs, 1K, and then you have 300 subs until 1,000, I think is what they mean. If that's the case, congrats. Advice on targeting browse. All traffic is from search. I want to change it up.
I don't see the problem with having search traffic, to be honest. Browse is great, but that's just when YouTube starts figuring out who to recommend your videos to. So for me, what it helped making that change, although mine is still three-way split, right? My channel, my traffic sources are still a third search, a third browse, and a third suggested, right? So, but what made it go away from being like 80% search was when I really narrowed down and focused on a very particular viewer. Like once I started figuring out exactly who I'm targeting my videos at, that's when I started noticing that changing. So if you haven't done that yet, that's really what you need to start focusing on right now.
Yeah. And then browse, once you start getting that focus, browse is about playing with the emotions of the people who might want to watch that content. So once you know the audience, then it's time to start playing with the titles and thumbnails. And you're not making them searchable. You're making them a little more interesting, dramatic, whatever fits the mood of that video. And they're going to show up in browse, and people click on those because there's some element to them that makes them very like irresistible, whereas search videos are very like you're trying to solve a very specific problem. They're looking for a solution, and so they go into the search bar. But sometimes people are just looking to be entertained, and that's really the difference. So yeah, once you understand your target audience, it becomes a lot easier to decide. I want to target search. I want to target browse. I mean, this week on our channel, I deliberately made a more search-driven video, something that I knew our audience wasn't going to like in full probably benefit from, but enough of them would, and then also people in the future will want this information. It was about live streaming. We talked about it a little while ago. So the strategy behind that video was more of like an evergreen search kind of video. We kind of just make the decision,
Yep.
Which metric do you feel is more important to focus on? Hours watched or percentage viewed?
I would do a combination of both. I don't think, here's the thing, and people get caught up in the minutia of analytics of which is the one I need to watch out for. Don't. You need to look at the stuff as a whole picture. But if you really want to focus on one, it should be views. That's really the most important metric. I've heard that come from YouTube employees directly. So you want to look at all of it together, views being the most important. I wouldn't focus on one specific thing. Now, if one of them is below, like your retention is bad, like really low, then yeah, you need to work on fixing that. But I wouldn't just hyper focus on one thing like it's gonna, blow your channel up. I don't want you getting caught up in that loop.
Hours watched. Would this be the right way to describe it? Hours watched is basically the amount of hours in total. So it doesn't matter if it's not one person, it's everyone who's watched it. All those seconds, minutes are all calculated. Yeah. And so you just get like a number out of that. Like, here's how many hours were watched of this video or across this channel. And that can tell you one thing, it kind of relates to views, to be honest. Like you've built up a lot of hours. And then percentage viewed is like a different thing. We're talking about one video. We're talking about how did people stick around for it. And to me, I like that one to learn how to improve as a creator. Like they dropped off here. Why? And I investigate and I ask myself, would I have clicked off? Was something said that made it feel like they got everything they need out of this video? Was something said that made it sound like the video was ending? Why did they click off here? This was not the end of the video, So it's just different mindsets. And yeah, views is all of it put together because YouTube is going to weigh all of that stuff on its own. They won't tell us how it exactly works. And then they're going to spit out the number views because people ended up watching and the video kept getting recommended to more and more and more people. So
yeah,
I would focus on them kind of like we were talking about skilling up earlier, right? Like I feel like I need to work on my thumbnails. Well, if you feel like you need to work on your editing, maybe I'd start with that retention, and just see, well, do people drop early? All right. Do shorts choke out longs if both are posted daily? I don't think so. I think it's two separate places, really.
Yeah, and two separate viewers. So no.
Yeah. A lot of people hung up on like the choking out of videos. I really hope we haven't said anything to like make anyone nervous. Post videos.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We post something almost every single day, with like Thursday kind of being our break day. We posted a short today and a live stream right now. We have a short going out tomorrow and a live stream tomorrow. Like, we're not worried about this stuff. And I don't think you should be either. You know, only in very certain cases would I ever be worried about this. I'm not trying to, sorry, and on the net fishing, I'm not trying to like dump on you right now. You're just not the first person to ask about this today, and I just want everyone to like be calm about the your videos aren't killing each other.
Yeah 100%, man. So that's we want to make sure you guys are comfortable with posting and really finding a cadence that works for you. That's really what we want you guys to find. So a cadence that's not going to destroy your personal life to get videos out is really what it comes down to. So
Yeah.
I don't want people to be in a rush to like, I need to post as many videos as possible. Like you're going to try to speed run the algorithm. It's not how this works.
Right.
That's not how this works. You need to focus on quality more than anything else.
YouTube is a quality game these days. It really, really is. I like starting off strong and posting a ton of content at first, but I like that for the purpose of like learning YouTube. There comes a point where quality matters more than anything else. And I don't think it used to be that way. I think this is why it's kind of hard to get good advice on it, because you have old content out there telling you the opposite. You have people out there who still have it internalized that it's just velocity. Post. Well, that's great. You can post all you want if you have fantastic quality. But if you're posting at the sacrifice of your quality, now you're just slowing yourself down.
Yeah, totally agree, man.
If you're posting to the detriment of your quality is kind of what I meant to say. With shorts, should I put in the description and tags? I don't know. I don't now, and I get 1.5 to 5K views on them. Does it matter with shorts? I do it, but I don't think you need to. I've watched shorts with millions of views that have zero of that stuff going on.
Yeah, I wouldn't sweat it. If you're gonna spend time doing that kind of stuff, do that for your regular videos, but don't sweat it for shorts.
Use our tools. We have an AI description generator now. Fill that thing out in a snap. We got our tags, our tag tool. Fill that thing out in a snap. I mean, that's what I do. I don't like empty boxes, and vidIQ makes it super, super easy to just fill that stuff out. And there's actually a link down below right now. I'm going to tell just you guys about this. It's just between you and me right now. If you're here for the live stream, this is for you. You get our boost plan. If you're a new customer, you get it for $1 for your first month. $1. You can try all of our tools, the full suite of them. The link is in the description. Don't tell anybody about it. I have that there just for you guys because you've been good. So congrats. One of those tools I love is the AI description or title generator.
Yeah.
I like the description generator too. This thing is great on the dashboard because you can actually like come up with whole video ideas from this. You know, what should I type in here? What do you think?
Let's see. How about
Put you on the spot.
Yeah, kind of put me on the spot there.
Headphone review? Give me a specific headphone.
You could try that. You could try Sony XM5 and see what it comes up with.
5 headphone review. Well, Jeff, that would be a very boring, stupid title, okay? But let's see if the title generator can do better. Hear what we think of the Sony XM5 headphone. You'll be surprised. You won't believe the result of our Sony XM5 headphone review. Sony XM5 headphones unboxing and review you won't believe. Our final thoughts on Sony XM5 headphones. This is a bit long. Unboxing the insanely popular Sony XM5 headphones. Wow.
I actually like that last one. I would have left out the semicolon and the wow. But here's what I take from this, right? Is it gets my mind working. I won't use any of these titles verbatim. I won't use anything from any AI tool verbatim, right? Yeah. But I let this be like my friend, my coworker, I can bounce ideas off of, and this will get my mind working on what can I take from this that I can work into a workable title or even a workable idea for a video. So like this unboxing the insanely popular Sony XM5 headphones, that's actually not a bad idea. But it's just one of those things where I'll use it as a jumping off point. I won't use that as my video title verbatim. So whenever you guys use this, try not to use it verbatim. Try to use it as, hey, I can use this, and how can I flip this to really make it work for me?
And then when you get that title that you like, and again, maybe don't use it verbatim, but I'm just going to, for demonstration purposes here.
Of course.
Write a script for a YouTube video about unboxing the insanely popular Sony XM5 headphones. Let's ask our AI coach to help us out with this video. So we have our title, you know, maybe we can get like a little script going. Maybe we can like figure out what we should say in the video. This is our AI coach. If you have any level of account with vidIQ right now, while this is in its early stages, you can try this out. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be unboxing the insanely popular Sony XM5 headphones. Let me show you what's inside the box. First, you'll find the headphones themselves. They come with a sleek black finish with a 3.5 millimeter audio connector and noise canceling technology. Is that accurate? I'm always curious when I start spitting facts.
Yeah, no, I was trying to read it. I just have it on a small window, so I was trying to blow it up so I can see it. Yeah, a few accessories included. They do come in different colors, but here's the thing with, just like I said before, I would never use this verbatim,
right?
Because this is like 30 seconds. This is a YouTube short, if anything.
Yeah. But it's a good jumping off point.
But it's a good jumping off point because it kind of gives you a structure, and then you can fill this out even further as needed. So, and I know plenty of people that are doing that. So not necessarily just using our tool, but I know some people that have used our tool as a jumping off point. They've gotten just a really basic outline on a video, and then they'll come back to me like, a day or two later, and it'll be a fully fleshed out 10-minute video based off of this quick little outline because it gave them structure, and then they just added what they wanted to add to it and made sure that all of their facts are accurate. This is why you don't use this stuff verbatim.
Yeah. So this is like, think ChatGPT, but it was trained as a YouTube coach. You could try this out as well. So again, link down below. Just a quick plug there for our vidIQ tools, which we love. So we have one here. Do I need to use the same hashtags/tags in every video, or do I need to switch them up all the time? You should be switching them up per video, especially your tags. Tags these days are really strong for misspellings, common misspellings of keywords and keyword phrases that are in your title, in your description. That's what YouTube says about tags. Tags these days are not super important according to the YouTube employees. YouTube's algorithm used to heavily rely on them. It's way smarter than that now. And it can watch the whole video if it needs to figure out what the heck the video is about. So you don't need to be stressing tags like you used to. Use them as YouTube says, like put in common ways to misspell or rephrase the thing that you're trying to say in your title, what the video is about, and don't sweat them. Our tools, again, are great for this. You should be spending maybe 5 seconds on your tags. You really shouldn't be spending much time at all, and our tools can help you fill those out very, very quickly. So that's what I say. Hashtags, still to this day, seem pretty useless. YouTube's doing a little bit more with them, but they're not. I don't think anyone's ranking with hashtags. Certainly, no one I know is searching using hashtags, but maybe time will tell. Maybe things will start to pivot in the future.
Yeah. We actually spoke with a massive YouTube Shorts creator, millions of subscribers, millions of views, probably billions at this point. And yeah, same thing. Hashtags, not really that important.
Yeah. Cool. Hopefully we didn't miss any supers. Just know that we could end up missing some supers as we get later into the stream here. So do be careful. I do see one here. Should I wait to post the link to my newest videos onto Twitter and Discord? I let those. I have like an automated system in my Discord, and I just let it kind of post. There's no harm in posting. There's no harm in waiting. I wouldn't depend on those either way for views. The YouTube recommendation system is going to get you way more viewers than Twitter and Discord because by nature, people following you on Twitter, people in your Discord have already found you through YouTube. So that's a smaller audience than the potential audience you can get from YouTube recommendations themselves. I wouldn't sweat it. I'd post it right away. Wouldn't even worry about it. But yeah, cool. Thanks for all your supers. Let's get back to looking at some channels. We'll pick from the claw. What did we do last time? Did we do a gaming or not gaming?
I don't remember.
Hold on. It says 331. That was a gaming channel. We'll do a non-gaming channel. 35.
Oh, early entry.
Early entry. Is Luther. Let me copy this and paste it here. Not a lot of videos here. And I don't know what the channel's about. They do have a channel trailer. They have some other Sonic YouTubers that they like.
Is it animation, maybe? It doesn't look animated.
It's not. They're telling a story. I unmuted it for a second, but I will say this is not quite a video. You've taken a still image and you just kind of talked over it. You need more images. You need, like, if you're going to do animation this way, that's fine, but you need more happening on the screen. This is a great sample of tomorrow's video reviews. This is exactly what we do. We go into the video and we try to give you some tips on why people might have clicked off of your video. If people are clicking off your video too early, that means something's going on and YouTube's not going to continue pushing it. You need titles that are a bit more clear. Here's where I want this channel to start. I'm going to give advice I've never given before. Go to your own homepage. Go to this list of YouTubers you filled out. Look at the ones that are your favorites. Look at the best ones. Look at the difference here between their thumbnails and their titles and the way they're making videos. What is it you love about this content? What is it that you would do differently? I want you to watch this content, and I don't want you to watch it as a fan. I want you to watch it for research. And I want you to take notes on those very specific things that relate to you and what you're doing on YouTube. Because it's great. It's great that you have other channels that you feel like are similar to your channel. You're modeling yourself after these channels is kind of what the sense I'm getting. Sonic tubers that I like. You are like putting yourself as a Sonic tuber, like, you know, out there. This is great. And you got channels here with tons of subscribers. Don't be afraid to learn from them. You know, these channels are keeping the audience engaged. They're feeding a hungry audience who likes this type of content, and their viewers may also become your viewers one day if you make content that is similar to theirs, that stacks up next to theirs. There's a whole community here. So don't treat them like your competition. It doesn't seem like you are because you put them on the front page of your channel. Treat these channels as channels that you look up to and channels you can learn from. That's what I want you to do. And everyone should do this research. This person, whether they knew it or not, did a whole bunch of research for themselves by adding this whole channel shelf here. I mean, this is great. This is a great place to start. That's exactly what I'd be doing if I was starting out today. Who else is doing this? Who else is doing what I'm doing? And can I, like, learn from them to improve?
Yeah, research is key, man. I mean, that's one thing that you really got to take away from all of this, and this is for literally everyone, not just this channel, is that research is definitely going to be key. You have to put in the homework. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks having to go through and do this. Like, literally what I'm going to be doing this evening is watching a very specific type of tech video to figure out exactly how it's done at a high level so that I can deconstruct it and then redo it in my own voice and in my own way, where I'm not copying it, but I'm targeting the same type of viewer, right? But that's going to take hours. I'm going to have to spend a bunch of time watching these videos, taking notes, figuring things out, watching different channels to figure this out. But because I want the video that I'm planning to put out to be successful, this is what I do to try to make that happen. So if you're not willing to put in that work, well, there's not much we can do. But that's what we mean by doing the research and doing your homework on this kind of stuff. This applies to everyone. This isn't just for this particular channel. This is literally every single person in the chat, everybody watching this on replay. You got to do that work, and you got to be willing to do that work. And that's what it is. It's work. And fun fact, YouTube gets harder as you grow, not easier. There's this like thing that goes around, people saying like, it must be easier to get, subscribers when you already have a bunch of subscribers. Actually, no. You have to work harder. So
just in a different way. Like,
thank you. Yes.
You do have some stuff figured out. Like, you know your audience, you know what you're doing, but other stuff gets harder. You keep holding yourself to a higher standard because you keep looking for success. You can absolutely kick back and stagnate if you want.
Yep.
Or you keep growing. I mean, that's why we get channels with some. We got one today. It didn't make it through the pre-selection process, but it almost did. 400,000 subscribers, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, even a channel this big is looking to improve, and they were on a totally different level. Just they're at a way different place in their YouTube journey. So, yeah, everyone's looking to continue growing, and that makes it more and more challenging as you continue. One more super chat here. What's a good retention rate? It depends. Let's say you get 5%. For you, 10% is a good retention rate. Let's say you get 10%. For you, 20% is a good retention rate. Always look to try and improve. Even today, if you go and look at like Mr. Beast interviews, he's talking about improving his retention rate, and he's striving for 60, 70, 80. Like, he wants people to never click off his videos. So he's putting a lot of work in to make sure that doesn't happen. So just, compare yourself to yourself. I can't really tell you exactly what a good retention rate is. I would, generally speaking, say, hey, if you get someone to watch 50% of your video, that's great. They watched half your video. Like, that's really, really awesome. But it's always going to come down to where are you at now, and like, give yourself incremental goals to aim for. Cool. It's been a very productive day of channel audits. We're going to call it here, and I'm going to let you know that tomorrow we'll be live again with more video reviews. It's not just channels. It's going to be videos as well. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, I'm looking for the outro. There it is. We will see you next time.